Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Friday Night Hangouts, the greatest live stream you are currently watching. Hope everyone is doing well, Jim Dandy, and fine this evening, and/or all of the above. Hopefully, the latter. I see Kenneth Bird is in the chat, and I want to say thank you. I'm not used to seeing you in so early. You must have an appointment for later on. Sorry, I was checking the volume on the stream. It appears to be good. And we will get rolling on whatever it is we have planned tonight. I have no idea what it's going to be, as per usual, but that's just the way I roll. For those of you who are new to the stream, which I sincerely doubt because no one ever new comes in, yeah, expect the unexpected, or at least expect the unplanned. So, yeah, another Friday is a night, or is upon us, and let's hope we get some good people in the chat tonight who want to do some talking. And of course, what would any good stream be without a great fellow YouTuber, Mr. Matt Woods? Great to have you in here. You and Kenneth are stalwarts, of course, of the channel, and it is much appreciated that you make it a point to almost always stop by. Aren't you out there hiking in the Great West? I hate to see you take time out of that. The wife and I did a big tour out west. Spent a couple days in Canyonlands and Arches. Then worked our way over to Yellowstone, and then we went over to Rushmore, and yeah, it was a whirlwind of national parks, all in like a week and a half. It was pretty crazy. Well, sir, your continued patronage is much appreciated, content notwithstanding. There's very little of the content anymore, but hopefully what gets put out is at least semi-decent. And I haven't forgot about you. At some point, I do plan to get the drone out there and maybe eventually do that Mothman biography or whatever, if you will. I don't know if they had the festival already this year. I think it's already been taking place, but I've been seeing a lot of Mothman like Halloween decorations around. Oh, it was an amazing trip out west. I actually talked about it on the channel a couple years ago when I did it. This is 2019, maybe 2020. We did like 6,000 miles in about 8 days or something. It was pretty crazy. Yeah, we stayed over first night. Well, technically the first night was in Kansas border, but we went over to stayed overnight at it's like park adjacent to the Colorado National Monument, and then we went from there to Arches. We stayed in Moab for a couple days. We were tent camping mostly. It was bitter cold. It was like October, November, but it was like 20 degrees, 30 degrees most of the days. Yeah, so we went over to Arches and did some Canyonlands. Did a lot more hiking at Arches. I would like to spend more time at Canyonlands because that was the prettiest of all. But we had places to go. We planned on going to Sequoia, but we got about to Vegas and then we stopped. So we got to Vegas and you know what? It's like, let's spend a day or two in Vegas, which we did. And then we went north up to Yellowstone, then shot over to Rushmore because we kind of just planned a circular trip to come back home. So Rushmore was our last stop on that trip, and then we just drove straight through to get back home. So yeah, quite the trip. A lot of driving. My goodness, a lot of driving. And quite a bit of camping. So good time. My own trip out west last week was with my son and his friend. It was an amazing time. He wanted to hike to the river at the Grand Canyon, so we made it happen. Well, excellent. We actually didn't get to do that. We were trying to skip some of the busier spots, and we figured, well, we've already seen a couple of days of canyons. Maybe able to do something else. But yeah, so we didn't actually get to see it. So hopefully we're not kicking ourselves, but we can always go back eventually. That would be great father and son time, especially if y'all are both good hikers, which you appear to be. Otherwise, that'd be a rough, a rough trip, because it's no trek for the weak, that's for sure. But we did a lot of walking at Arches, man. Just walking around, looking at stuff, and going on back trails and stuff. So the wife was a trooper, but we got her done. But precious memory. I got some good pictures out there too. Actually, I wonder if I trying to remember where I even have them. Is that under maybe my backgrounds? Let me see. Okay, yeah, there's one. Let's see. That was the goal. Oh, yeah. It is good. Make sure if you go see Arches or whatever, get the national pass, because then you can just shoot over to Canyonlands, which is only like 14 miles away. And I don't think it's even 14 miles away. You can see both for the same price then. Let's see. I think this shot... Oh, I'm going to put it on the background here in a second. I got to pull it up. If I can find it. Oh, that's huge. All right. Sizing gets all messed up in OBS. So I got to... It just came out giant, so now I got to resize it very slowly. And for the astute observer, they might notice what my headgear is. There we go. Yeah, that's that is Canyonlands. I'm pretty sure. There might be Arches, but I think that's Canyonlands actually. But get my face out of there. What a vista, man! And just some of the most amazing shots visually. Oh, that's a good idea. See, I didn't look that up. We just bought National Park Pass while we were out there. We actually bought it at the Colorado National Monument. I should probably look into it. I'm bad. I don't even have my freaking card. I got my life member VFW card, and that's it. Here, let me get this resized again. There we go. Rugged Genome. Yeah, I used to be back in my olden days. It was so cold, man. It was so cold. But it helps the hike at least, you know, so you're not just sweating like a fiend. But yeah, that was a good trip. But yeah, especially like the vistas at Canyonlands were just like, there was really cool stuff at Arches, and there were some vistas, but like the Canyonlands ones were the most amazing ones we saw. It was like you can just see for like 50 miles in any direction in a couple of those shots, because there's 3 different layers that you can go. The main touristy part is up top, where you can drive around to all the different scenic shots, and then like there's a mid one where I think you can camp some too, and then you go down to the base of the canyon. If you have a 4-wheel drive, you can drive out there, and it's just, you can drive forever. I thought about getting a Jeep and just heading out there. I guess I could take my truck out there. It's 4-wheel drive, but it's a lot of driving. Good luck at me. Well, you know, I try. You should see me in my prime. But yeah, you'll notice I'm still wearing my old Army headgear in that picture. So, for my PT, it still fits my head. In fact, you know what? I have that same exact piece. Funny that I just mentioned that. I keep it right here in my basement office because it's going to be cold enough to use it for too long. So I still have it. I have this one and the black one. We usually wore this one. The Southwest U.S. is just cool to us people out east. We don't have any landscape like this. Oh my gosh. People don't understand, man. Like, when I say, like, especially West Virginia, of course, and PA's not much better, if any. Like, you get so claustrophobic here, man, because, like, there's no vistas. Like, you can see maybe a mile in any given direction, and there's hills everywhere, so it breaks the skyline up, so you're, like, always in this bowl. I see why people here are always depressed, so. But, yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, so it's, like, Utah was the most beautiful state. That was my favorite, like, scenically. I love driving out there. It was like 80 miles per hour and double lane, like, separated roads. It was just awesome. Yeah, it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We'll go out there again one of these days. I want to go out there when I have absolutely no rush to get home. I want to go out there with no timeline. Hopefully the business keeps going well. Because my best friend and I want to take a motorcycle trip out there. We want to go cross country from Florida over to California or maybe Washington. So I want to do that too before I get too old. My back won't sustain it. So lots of things to do, but of course the wife would like to go out there again too. So that might be after we get the RV, head out that direction. But yep. So yep, precious, precious memories. And that's something you just can't replace. You didn't go visit Comic Mad Music, didn't you? You know, I don't know that I knew Bill at that point. Because, like I said, this was maybe only 3 years ago. I don't know. I might have known Bill. And no, I didn't. My wife probably would have killed me. But we did go through a really small portion of Arizona that butts it right up against Utah when we came out of Colorado. So I probably could have seen him. I'm not sure if he's in the main city part. I can't remember if he's in Phoenix or whatever. But yes, we drove in probably an hour or two in Arizona. That was about it. I wasn't a huge fan of driving through the Rockies. I was getting so giddy and lightheaded. I had to pull over at one point. I'm like, hey, babe, I'm feeling a little silly right now. Let's pull over. So many like altitude changes, but you'd think I'd be used to it up here in the semi-higher altitudes, but no, it's pretty crazy there. So that part I could have done without. But it was easier than the return trip because we drove through some twisties coming through Wyoming and all those northern North Dakota and all that. Oh my goodness, that was awful. And I was driving at night after a full day of touristing and all that. It's like, ugh, that was a mistake. But we decided we wanted to go home at that point, so we actually cut our trip 2 days short because that way we get home and relax a little bit before we had to go to work Monday. So yeah. But Bill knew he'd never let me forget it, which he might come on here in a bit and then say, what are you talking about? Why are you mentioning my name? What will I forgive? Then I have to admit that I didn't come see him. Terrible. But, yeah. So, Adventures Out West. Yeah, I did a video quite a few years ago. I talked a little bit about it. I think I might even mapped it out, like the different spots I hit in the video. It's been so long since I made it, I can't remember. I forget how many states it was. I said 14 states might have been. Maybe more. I can't really remember. It's been a lot. You know, maybe the most disheartening thing about the entire trip to was I ate the best country fried steak of my life in the bottom of a small casino in Vegas. And I wouldn't go back nowadays, but I mean, it was amazing. It was like some of the most amazing breakfast I ever had. My wife's like, yeah, what's the big deal? It's country fried steak. I said, babe, this is freaking incredible white gravy country fried steak. And it was like $6 because I was eating in the casino because we stayed there overnight in the hotel area. And I was just like, I was so excited for breakfast in the morning. My trip last week started in Nevada, did the Hoover Dam in Arizona and Grand Canyon. Left Grand Canyon, did Meteor Crater, Winslow, Arizona, along with Phoenix, Arizona. Oh, Petrified National Forest, and then Window Rock, Navajo Nation. Yeah, you were getting around too. It wears you out, man, covering that much ground. And you get used to seeing a lot of juniper trees, right? I would definitely go out in this time of year again, though, too, so the heat is down a lot. I couldn't. Now, out there in the summertime, I've been asking for it. Then Mesa Verde, or Green Mesa, if you will, Colorado. Four Corners, Chaco Canyon, and Chaco, I'm not sure if that is. Then drove for St. Gump Point in Utah and Monument Valley. Yeah, you were seeing all the biggies, weren't you? I actually did. If you go back in my interview series, I actually do our next door neighbor when we were camping out over in Moab, Utah, was a long distance marathon, super long marathon distance runner, but he was staying right next door to I used to cook at night and give him food and all that, and Benny Rue, I think it was his name was. Good guy. I don't know if he won or took second, and that was I forget how many miles that was. It was a ridiculous amount of miles. Then Zion, okay, National Park for a couple of days. We wanted to go to Zion too. We missed it because it was. I can't remember if that's the spot or I want to say it's north of Canyonlands. There's a spot where there's like the old storehouses. So not Zion National Park for a couple of days. Then back to Vegas. Took the kids to the pawn shop in the strip. Forrest Gump. Oh, four instead of 4th Street Gump. Okay, so Forrest Gump point. I got you now. Did you try to hawk something? Yeah, those ultra marathon are a completely different breed. He like talks about some of the ones they have in like South Africa. That's where he's from, and it's like 50 miles. Yeah, I got bored of doing that one, so I started to get longer and longer and longer. It's so crazy, man. That was a fun little interview. It was just on the impromptu on the spot. It was on that trip where I'm in the picture right there. So cool dude. I figured you meant breed, not bread, but yeah, if they were ultra marathon, now what kind of bread would ultra marathon runners be? Um, I'm thinking more of the straight cracked wheat bread that tends to last longer, doesn't it? So there we go. That's what they would be. Or if you were just talking about the grain themselves, I guess they would be steel cut oats, right? Because they just last about forever in your cupboard. But yeah, just a fun little trip, and got to see a lot of scenery. I haven't really spent much time out west. I used to travel. I traveled to California a few times for work, but I never really did any work and got to see much scenery out that way, or anything, to the east of California. So I've been out to, of course, Seattle before. Rye bread, you think they're like rye bread? Stalwarts, I guess, but I've always hated running. Even when I was good at it, I hated running, so. Oh, thank you, sir. Justin in the house tonight from Leonidas Knives and Gear. Yeah, that was just, Matt and I were just talking because he just came out from out in that area out west, and I was just showing him like the one picture I had available of my trip out there. But appreciate that. Cracked wheat bread is a good choice as well. Yeah, it's kind of like it goes hand in hand, right, with marathon runners as opposed. Now me, I would be like Hawaiian rolls, the one. I mean, they touch air, and like 2 days later, they're greened over, so. It is what it is. It's always difficult comparing people to foodstuffs. But like I said, once again, we'll go out there. I really want you to make trips like that, and you just need more time. The problem is, like, we didn't stay in one place very long. Like, the longest place we stayed was in Moab. We stayed there 3 days because we had arches on one side of the campground and drive a little way down the road and basically, a couple more miles, and then you got Canyonland. So we got a lot done in 3 days. But I mean, it's like, so I wouldn't mind going out and spending a week at Canyonlands, and then maybe a week at Zion or something like that. Yellowstone was awesome because Yellowstone was cool because like there were so many different landscapes there. You would go from like tundra to the like the steam grounds or whatever to like lakes, then mountains. You can see the mountains out there. It was pretty amazing. Like as far as scenery, that was the coolest, or most variety, should I say. Dave, can you say hello to my wife, Kristen? She's in the living room with me watching. No. The next question, please. Let me just make this a personal question, or a personal hello. Let me try to get my James Mason voice going. I can't do it. Hello, Kristen. My name is Dave, also known as Genome. I am here to wish you a wonderful and happy Friday evening. Your husband Matt's a pretty capital fella, and though he's not with me on the stream right now, I feel like he's right here in the arcade with me. So I want to thank you for allowing him to spend a little time watching my stream tonight, cutting into your no doubt hectic Friday night. So thank you, Kristen. Nice talking to you. We'll have to get together sometime, my wife and I. Maybe we'll travel up to PA sometime. We're only a state away, right? I don't know how close you guys are to Fairmont. We're not in Fairmont, but I think it's the closest border we have. Maybe up through Wheeling or whatever. A couple hours for us, but... Or come on down to us. I know Matt wasn't too far away. What, a year or two ago? We got plenty of room. You can have the whole basement if you like. We just got the movie room all squared away. We added a new sound system in there and new projector. That came in this week. So it's looking sharp. And now we just need people to watch movies with us. Basically, I got the entire basement turned into like the ultimate visiting dignitary activity room. And now we just need visiting dignitaries. Kaz, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. Glad you can make it, sir, as always. And hope life finds you well. And all your PSAs coming back with high marks. Let's see. Yeah, I need my trip out west someday too. Yeah, do it, man. If you've never done it, it's just so different. Like, and you and I are Southern boys. We're not used to big elevations. And I was surprised because I was in Alabama. 2 months ago, something like that, for the wedding, and I was really surprised, like how mountainous or whatever, hillish Alabama was. And I never got out of the foothills, which was interesting. I thought it'd be nice and flat down there, like my Florida upbringing, but it really wasn't. So it kind of bummed me out because I wanted to see some flat lands again, but it wasn't meant to be, I guess. But yeah, go out west, man. It's just so different. All that sky is just something, man. That was an awesome. Oh, was an awesome hello. She didn't know. I asked you to say hello. She didn't know what was going on. Well, isn't that always the best way to get things, or at least hear things? Well, it's my pleasure. If she's allowing you time away from our Friday evening, it's the least I could do is say thank you. And same I'll say to Dee if when Darren comes on. See, I have so few viewers, it's very easy to talk to individuals. Ever since I lost Jay, all my viewership's gone. We'll have to do like a reunion stream or two every now and then if I can catch, depending on when he gets off at night. Maybe he'll slow down in the wintertime, I don't know. But I think he does indoor stuff, so maybe not. But I am very, very happy that y'all had a good time out west. With you and your son out there just doing the hiking thing. I never had a son, so I never got to do those kind of things. Excuse me, just re-wetting my whistle here. How's Jay been doing lately? He actually popped in the stream. Was it last week or the week before? I hadn't seen him and talked to him for quite some time. Seemed to be doing well. Other than the fact he lives in New York City. I mean, that's always a detriment, right? But at least to happiness. Kind of curious what it's like there right now, actually, with all the stuff that's going on over there. But so now I probably should actually reach out and talk to him again. Yeah, blame it all on Jay. I think I will. It's much easier to defend people or to blame people when they're there to defend themselves. It's very, it's like, I think, what would Garrick do, right? So, and answer is blame those who cannot defend themselves because they're not here. Ah, Jay. There's a man who should have had a ton more subscribers just on the few videos he did. There was so much effort went into his videos. They were so funny. So well put together. Like, I don't know if you guys ever saw his breakdown of the Joker and what, like, his take on his psyche was. That was really interesting for the more serious things. And then just, like, his other, his movie reviews, man. New York City. Yeah, I remember the old commercials. Was it paste picante sauce? This stuff's made in New York City. New York City. And I won't say the rest because I'll probably get canceled. But, I was waiting to see if Graham was coming on tonight. I mean, it's not like him to miss a show. Hope everything's okay. Oh, I was curious, Matt. How many books are still in your pull list? And hope I don't out you here. I was thinking about this the other day, and I was just wondering. It's like, 'cause I never really had one, even in my comic heyday. There were just so many good things on the shelves I didn't need a pull list, and of course they ordered so many back then. But I was just curious. But it looks like it's so much more expensive now. It'd be hard for me to justify that. Oh, I say that, and I just bought a new cabinet today. If you'd be able to see it. It's all the way at the end, past Pac-Man. I got the Centipede Asteroids cabinet amalgamation. Grants can quote a movie like no other. Yeah, he certainly can. I think he's got him on clipboard or something. He just that way he can get him copy and pasted in quick. I mean, that's what I would do. So that was fun. My wife's like, another one. Here we go. But I can't help it. It's Centipede and Asteroids. It's a great amalgamation. So can't wait to start modding that cabinet now. And it's a first gen. I only have 10 to 15 books on my pull list. Now, is that monthly or is that like on a bi-weekly, weekly? What is that? Monthly, I hope. I did 2 new visits. 2 in one day? How do you do it, man? Gosh, I don't know how you do it, man. It's all I can do to shoot a video anymore. I'm so bad. Like, I have a whole list of things I really need to shoot. I mean, granted, I'm fairly busy, and this week we were working, but I don't have an excuse. It's funny. I was telling my partner this today too. We were driving back from a job. I was telling him, it's like, I've been doing the YouTube thing for 5-6 years, however long it's been now. And I like everything about YouTube except for shooting the videos. Like, I love to conceptualize them. I love to edit them. I love to upload them and answer comments and do all the other stuff and try to design thumbnails. I absolutely detest actually shooting the video. It's always so annoying, like, especially on the how-to videos, because you're just fiddling with cameras all the time, trying to get in the shot just right, worry about your volume, worrying about lighting. And something always goes wrong, and you got to reshoot. And meanwhile, you're just trying to get a project done. Let's see, I did on eBay pickups in my new horror pack. That's right. You still doing the monthly horror pack thing? I need to get over there and look. It's been a while. I haven't watched much YouTube this week, that's for sure. While I'm still a comic book collector, I have hit a downtime in my collecting. I seem to have focused on other hobbies lately. Yeah, you sound like me. Of course, I haven't really got back into comics, but 10 to 15 a month is still a lot of books, brother. Kid yourself not. Oh, sorry. I think I'm getting feedback on these phones. Hold on a second. Note to selves, when you got a condenser mic, they do not like cell phones close to them. So, you have nothing but time? Well, I think there's a song lyric like that. At least you're filling it with something to do, though. Oh, Matt, it's funny you say that. This is the shirt I got when I was at Mount Rushmore. During the same trip. Mount Rushmore was under construction. You can still see it okay, just it wasn't as lovely as I thought. Well, glory be, we have some more royalty tonight. The one, the only, Mr. Jackson Roykirk. Welcome, my friend. Always a pleasure to see you in here classing up the joint. So we have you and Kristen in here now. We are actually on a almost like visiting royalty, right? Except for you people matter. That's the difference between you and modern royalty. So that's the only Blu-rays I got anymore. Stream everything else. Yeah, I have like 3 Blu-rays, but I don't have a Blu-ray player except for my PS4. Or is it my PS3? I forget which, but I was kind of hoping like that Blu-ray players had gone way down in price, but they're still like $100. I mean, I don't have enough of them to want to shell out for a dedicated Blu-ray player, I think literally the only 3 I have are, and I got at like Big Lots or something for like $5, was Tron Legacy. What was the other one I have? Blazing Saddles. I got that one off eBay or something. And the new RoboCop, which I think I got for $1. The reimagining. So I have like 4 Final Fantasy Advent Children. That's like the continuation of Final Fantasy VII in digital format. So yeah. Mount Rushmore construction. No, Dave was that old. I feel it sometimes. I feel it. No, actually, I feel good, man. For a guy pushing 50, I feel like with a little bit of training, I could go back out and run a couple miles again. It's gonna take a little training, but I get up and it's not too painful. Though I do notice it was funny. We were out shopping. I don't know, last weekend, I think it was. We were walking around the store for about an hour. And I looked at my wife, still like, my back's starting to hurt. You know, you're getting old and walking makes your back start to hurt. So, yeah, there's no escape from time's very brisk march upon your body. So it is what it is. But for the most part, I'm pretty good. It's all those years of working manual labor jobs that I think caught up with me. It happens. Most people have it a lot worse. Like people who always work manual labor, and then by 60, they're all, their bodies are all just crunched up. I can only imagine like how like NFL like linemen and stuff feel when they hit their 60s, but it's gotta hurt. Walking is one of the best forms of exercise. Yeah, much healthier for you than running. Running is such a high impact thing. But yeah, you might as well, like you were saying, Kaz, you might as well stream everything, right? It's just, even though I'm not one to talk, because I just bought more physical media. Look what I just bought. It was on sale for, they had a special Prime Day or something a couple of days ago. And so I got the original, the TOS there, all of them for like $32 or something like that. So I had to pull the trigger on that. And then I got, of course, all the Law and Orders down there. So I can't really talk about physical media too much, but my wife would rather stream stuff. I'm pushing 50 and ready for the end. Yeah, well, admittedly, sir, you've had much harder time physically than most of us have. So, but I'm telling you, man, sometimes it's time. It's so gradual, you don't notice like some of the things that trip you up that didn't used to trip you up, that you didn't give second thought to. Like literally, what was that? What's like one of my examples I like to use? Like when I like just not even being funny. Like in bed, like I'm more careful now. Like if I twist or how I get in and out of bed, I'm more careful with it because I'm like, you know what, I might not be able to always do this, and I'm going to wind up hurting myself if I'm not careful. When the muscles kind of atrophy some. So I'm more careful how I get in and out of bed nowadays, and like, just little things. I'm so much more careful. Remember how, and Matt will know this, like 3 points of contact when you get off a tailgate or something. So I kind of do the same thing. I sit down. I don't just jump off the tailgate anymore and sit down and kind of ease myself over. What is Star Trek? Yeah, I don't know. Is it life imitating art or art imitating life? I'm not sure. It's one of those two, though. I hear there were some thespians on there. Cause 50 is far from old. I'm just a couple years away from 50, and I feel I have so much more to offer the world. That's true. Like, if nothing else, my mouth works for good or for ill. So there is always that. So that shouldn't diminish too much as long as I pray all the time. It's like I don't pray for my body health at all. I've always just prayed for, like, I want to retain my cognition. That's the only thing that really frightens me about age is there's a little bit of my family too. So, but time is relative. It's I think I read somewhere years ago that the average life expectancy of a mountain man, like a gold rush guy back in the 1800s, whatever it was like 28. They just wore themselves out, So I prefer to live a bit longer than that. But whenever the Lord calls me home, that's when I go. So it's not really up to me. So I try not to think about it too much. I definitely don't obsess about age. I'm kind of strange. I've always actually wanted to be a little bit older. Like, I have no problem. Like, I can't wait till I say I'm 50. I'm 50. As long as I still feel like I do now, then I won't mind it so much. But maybe a little more gray. But no hair dye on this boy, though. I don't do it. Funny, the guys at VFW used to laugh at me. Like, you got to be kidding, dude. It's like, because at the time, this is a couple years ago, it's like, aren't you gonna start going gray that much? Like, I had some gray in the hair, but not much. They're like, do you diet? It's like, no, I don't diet. I find that kind of ridiculous sometimes. It's like, embrace the grays if you're a man. Men, embrace the gray. Do it. Don't society. I mean, it's even venerable. They talk about it in the Bible. You know, the gray hair, the gray head showeth wisdom, right? So it's funny how different, like difference between East and West. You know, out East, you're venerable when you get age, and you're an honored elder, and over here, it's just seen as, at least in Western countries, it's seen as more of a detriment. You know, time is money, time is the enemy, time is on my side. But no one told you when to run. You missed the starting gun. Something about 10 years gone behind you. I don't know. But, yeah, time makes fools of us all, they say. I don't know if that could actually change what's already been presented. I mean, I haven't really improved too much in that regard. But as Elvis said, only fools rush in. But as Gloria said, I too shall survive. With the Lord's blessing, that is. So, well, that got depressing in a hurry, didn't it? Now we're all sitting here, we went from comic books to pondering our old mortality. I've been gray for years. It gives me character. Yes, it gives you character. It means you did something. You survived. I don't know why that irks me so much. I mean, ladies, if you want to dye your hair, I guess that's up to you. I don't guess it. I mean, it is up to you. But guys, man, don't do it. Embrace the gray. Be a man. It's okay. Especially if you're married. Who cares? I tell my wife all the time. She might be watching the stream. She'll probably get mad at me. But I'm like, I'm married. Who do I got to impress? You know? But you're right, man. It does give you character. And I just don't think it's something we should. And I don't think women should dye their hair either. I mean, like, embrace it. Women are beautiful. Women with gray hair are beautiful. And just, I don't know, don't let society, like, push you into something that's unnatural just to fit an image that's obviously everyone knows is not real, you know? Uh-oh, she was lurking. I knew it. Look at her background, too. She got the same picture in her background. Good to see you, my much better half. I don't think of my mortality. I'll live for as long as I'm alive. Well, that's a pretty good way to think about it. And always remember, in the words of Jim Morrison, no one here gets out alive. So make sure to get right with your eternity, by the way. I'm not going to say anything too particular or on the nose, but we all live for eternity. It's location, location, location. So think well on where you'd like to spend it. So end of quote. I don't think of my mortality. Okay, I read that. But yeah, and that's another thing is like I'm enjoying some stuff while I'm here, you know. Some might, my wife included, would probably think that the arcade is a waste of time and money. Maybe it is, but it's giving me joy while I'm here. I'm getting to build something that I find quite pleasure in, and it gives me something to do, another hobby, you know, which I do like. And I don't know. It's like, it's weird though, I'm like regressing. My hobby is me regressing back to my childhood when I never thought I'd even have my own home video game system, let alone an arcade, you know. I hope I get a do-over. You know, I think I've done everything I was supposed to do. Not to get into predestination or anything like that, but I don't know. I say that, but now I would never do a do-over because I think that the steps that I took in my life, which led me to Jesus Christ, I couldn't change any of it, even the bad, just because that specific set of steps assured me salvation. And so it is tempting. Like, I screwed up so much when I was younger, you know? And, you know, no one got hurt. I didn't get hurt. You know, I worked. I did my thing. Boy, did I let money slip through my hands, and and boy, was I not responsible, and boy, was I like a bad boyfriend, or not always a bad friend. I don't know, bad son, lots of things. I would like to change that, but, you remember the episode Tapestry from Next Generation, right? Look what happens. You start pulling on those little strings. I live every day with those, my last. As long as you can enjoy every day, and as long as you're not terrified of the night because you're afraid you're not going to wake up. You live it up, my brother. You live it up. I survived being shot at, holes in my bowels, cancer, and currently have a brain tumor. I'll enjoy the joys of life as long as I can. You never know what tomorrow will bring. And isn't it true? And I speak from a completely blessed position, right? Those ailments, to my knowledge, do not affect me right now. I'm not suffering from anything other, than the occasional headache. And it makes me wonder if I would be as upbeat about things if I was facing down something like that. I pray that I would be. And there'll be some special prayers coming up for you, Mr. Woods, this evening. And in the immediate future. Because we just never know how we're going to handle things, I like to think now, with my assurances and my salvation, that I could be stoic about it and hopefully even happy, but you never know until you're faced with it. So, and hardship brings out the true self a lot of times, And I sometimes wonder what my true self really would be like when faced like something like that. And I pray that I could do it and maintain myself, the things that make me laugh, things that make me smile, my lack of fear about, hereafter. I'd hope that kind of thing would stick with me, That brings up birthdays and Christmas. I have everything I want, so every year I have to express that. Yeah, I mean, look, especially most of us as adults here, we're all adults in the chat. We have what we need. We have most of what we want, And I tell the kids when I was teaching Sunday school a few weeks ago, the little teens, I was like, look, there's, fleshly desires you will never, ever satiate. I even told them about the arcade. Just if you let it get out of hand, I would never stop with the arcade, right? I would have to, it was like, okay, I filled this room up. I got to knock down the walls and build more and more and more. And it never stops. And it's like that with anything in a fleshly, worldly desire. So we just have to remember to sit there and be thankful. I mean, for Christmas birthday, maybe tell relatives or family, I don't need anything. I don't need anything. Don't buy me anything. I'm good. If you must buy me something, spend the money and give it to somebody else, because we have plenty. But yeah, never forget to do that, guys. And it's sometimes, man, it's hard to see. Well, I say that. I mean, sometimes it's hard for other people to see what they should be thankful for, and people who have no excuses not to, right? So it can be frustrating sometimes. I went for annual follow-up for my kidney surgery. No cancer found. Come back next year. No, we don't want the cancer to come back next year. We want you to come back for the checkup next year. Specificity. And we'll keep praying for that too, because we need you back in the chat, my friend. See, I'm going to do it from a selfish angle here. You need to relax. Until I get off YouTube, you need to hang around. So I plan on being YouTube for the next 30 years. So you got 30 more years, so stick with it. It is awesome news. I enjoy comic books and reading in general because it's a fun escape from reality. It's a little bit of fantasy where the good guys always come on top. Isn't it something? And that was one of the best, that's where the best comic stories come from. A little bit of peril, a little bit of hardship, but then a perseverance, right? So, and I love to, just absorb myself into a novel, spend an afternoon reading. That's never gone away from me. And just trying new things and hunting for stuff, looking for deals. And I don't know, it's weird. I have weird hobbies, but I'm just going to enjoy the time that I have here, and I know, looking at the statistics, I got fewer years ahead of me than I do already behind me. So I like to think I've come to acceptance of that. But mortality doesn't have to be a frightening thing. But escape from realities are kind of nice from time to time. Hence the movie room. Not that I watch that many movies anymore. That's kind of funny, too. We don't really watch that many movies here. We had a great movie room experience, but since I don't watch anything new. But these took some deep turns going to bed. Night, ladies and gents. Mr. Kaz, fare thee well. Have a great rest and respite, my friend. We'll see you hopefully next week. And if I remember, I'll try to jump over to your channel and check out your new videos. As always, your patronage is greatly appreciated. And I should have had my stream deck hooked up so I could have done my applause for you. Lots of good shows on streaming, yeah. It's just so easy. Like, we're so spoiled, man. It's like, oh, it was so difficult back in the day to watch your favorite shows. Want to watch Star Trek? Well, you better find out which channel it's playing on. You have to be home at that time. Then it got a little easier. Maybe you can set your VCR up to record it. And then it got even easier. You know, set TiVo, whatever it was, which I've never had it. But and then finally, you just stream it whenever you want it. Or buy the whole collection like I do. Yellowstone's my favorite. Oh, it was awesome. Yellowstone was just so awesome. And I got some great shots there. I don't have it like handy for uploading here, but just cool wildlife. We saw, like, that was the only problem with, like, the canyon places and all that in the desert. Like, we didn't see any wildlife. Almost nothing. And we went to Yellowstone, you know, see so much different stuff. You know, owls, coyotes, bison, elk, or might have been carrot. No, I think it was elk. We saw everything out there. I got pictures of so many different animals out there. Bad at photographer as I am, you know, eagles or whatever. It's just so much to see out there, which was really cool. Though we missed Old Faithful. We didn't have time to go back and see her. She had just gone off. But we saw, like, the end of her spout, and that was it. Oh, the show named Yellowstone. Oops, okay. I've never seen it. That's the Kevin Costner one, right? I should have actually put that together. I was like, why are we going back full circle to the the trip out west? Haven't we already got past that? But I'm slow on the uptake. Ask my wife. She might chime in here and agree. But I haven't watched a new show in quite some time. Of course, I have several seasons of Law and Order to get through, and now original series to go through, so could be a little while, but maybe I'll check it out. I think the newest show I've watched recently was Longmire. So, and that's been a little while. Since I don't have any, excuse me, none of the typical streaming services anymore, other than, like, Prime. It's a little bit harder for me. And you know what a curmudgeon I am, so. He is a world traveler. It was just because it's funny, before you came on the chat, we were talking about the trip out west. That's why I got the picture behind me. Not that I need to show off myself anymore. It's just that, in fact, what if I can just cover myself? Oops, wrong one. Can't see much of a view, but it's a pretty amazing view out there. But he is a world traveler, and frankly, I get a little jealous sometimes. But he needs to conclude those world travels to scenic West Virginia again. Go back and check that out. Rare night to have Matt right from the start. I know he was on, like, first. Actually, the first was Kenneth Bird, I think. I guess I could scroll up and look. And then it was, like, Kaz and Matt. Might have been Matt. Yeah, it was Matt first, and then Kaz came in, I think. So, yeah, different order. And, of course, Leonidas was there. Actually, Leonidas came in. Jessica came in first. Or third, excuse me. But, yeah, so that was interesting. But you were around, I think, for my trip out west. You might have seen some of those videos. You might have been as well, Matt. I don't remember. Like I said, I don't go back and look at my old videos, so I'm so bad about that. I don't know. Do you guys watch your own videos after you post them? I usually want nothing to do with them after I've got them. After all the time editing and shooting them, I usually just want to get them uploaded and then check back for the comments. But that's it. I'm always in your heart. Well, so much appreciated, brother. It's amazing, like, people you haven't met and, like, just the friendships you can strike up. I know that, like, you and I could just go meet at a diner someday and sit down and be like, we're just talking like old friends, you know? Same with everybody that's in the chat. You were around for, okay, I couldn't remember if you were doing the YouTube thing yet or not, or even around, so. That's the last vacation I've taken. You know that, right? Like, I've taken, like, a few days here and there, but I really haven't taken any vacation time since then. I'm gone anywhere, you know? I'm just not much of a vacation guy. I get antsy. But I like to one day. And now that we own our own company, when we finally get, to where we hired some employees and can trust them to work without supervision, time to start kicking back and then seeing some of this great nation. I traveled a lot for work, and but you don't really get to visit anywhere, I've flown overseas several times and visited many states, but usually you fly into the airport, you drive to the work site, you start working, go back to the hotel, give it the next day, go back to work, and then get on a plane. The only videos that I've watched more than editing was the Grand Canyon video I did a few years ago. I like to watch that about every 6 months. And that's a good one. I don't know if I watch any videos with me in them. I think I watched a few of my clip shows. But yeah, but I'm with you, man. I just can, I don't know. I don't have either. I'm done with it, or I don't like looking at or listening to myself. I don't know. And it is some beautiful scenery there, Jackson. It's amazing what our Lord gave us to look at while we're here, But maybe we'll all have to take a YouTuber trip one night. The YouTube comics community goes to traveling. Wouldn't that be nice? We could all get in motorhomes or whatever and do a comics with Bueller thing and just run across. You can check out some comic stores on the way if you want. Ones that don't carry just pops. Wife and I talked about we want to go up to Maine. I've never been up really to places in New England, so we'd like to go up and see Maine off season. Maybe in the semi-near future. That'll probably be the next one. After cutting and editing a video, I feel like I've seen all I need. Yeah, you got that right. Now, I have no great desire of looking at myself either, so I just get, it's like very cathartic, right? You just, it's like exciting and bad too. It's like, okay, here's the idea, here's a video, and you spend a whole bunch of time on it, and it's like, okay, it's done, next. And I've always wondered, you'll see a lot of movie people say, well, I never watched that movie that was in. And I don't know if I actually believe them, but maybe I can, because after just doing a little bit of YouTube thing, I can see not wanting to watch my own stuff. My dad made the trek. Oh, excuse me. My dad made that trek across the canyon twice in the 50s. He still talks about it as fondly as if he just got back from there. That's a memory you don't forget, that's for sure. It's awe-inspiring vistas. New England is one part of the country that I've yet to explore. Yeah. Well, we're talking about it, so. And I had some friends from Rhode Island. That's about as close, but I've never actually been up there. So, and I don't know anybody up there that I can think of. So just be two strangers sojourning in a strange land. That's a long time ago in the 50s too. Good memory on his part. 73 years later, or 70 years later. I'm surprised you haven't seen New England because you're not too far from it, right? In the last spots. I mean, I've been to Maryland and all that, but mostly just driving through the city, and so I haven't really got to see the burbs, as it were. All right, something must be wrong. Grand is not in the chat at all. And I was giving him some time, but I don't know if he's going to come in tonight in time. So Jackson, I have to say, well, maybe you're talking to Jackson. I shouldn't read that, but I have to say I did it a few years ago. Never wanted to do it again. Then Spencer wanted to do it. Okay, enjoyed it the second time more than the first. Grand Canyon is so spectacular. Just scenery, just something, man. It is awe-inspiring. Oh, man, this memory from things 6 years ago, spot on. But ask him what he had for lunch today. Oh, well, yeah, it's often the case, unfortunately. Getting like that, too. You're still sharp as a razor, man. Or sharp as a tack, as my dad used to say. So he always used to say about George Burns. He's like, look at that. Man's 100 years old and he's still sharp as a tack. That's what he always would say. My dad saw 83, I think. As far as he got. So he wasn't in George Burns territory, but he saw a little bit of life. I honestly don't know what I had for lunch today. Your dad is good to go. Yeah, see, I had to think about it. What did I have for lunch today? Well, I ate out because we were having business lunch today. But what did I have? Oh, Chinese, yeah. Garlic beef or something. Yeah, but I just can't believe Gran didn't come tonight. Hope everything's okay. I worry now, you know? This is also what happens when you don't have a lot of viewers. You get to know each and every one of them and their habits. And you start missing them when they're not here. They're gone. So if you have anything you want to any subjects you want to broach or anything, just let me know before I cancel it or, you know, call the show. Because I don't think I've asked that tonight. So if there's anything you wanted to talk about or any other tidbits, information you like, you just let me know, and I'll endeavor my best to bring you the good news, as it were. And hopefully my voice holds out. I'm still not over whatever it is I have. It's much better, but I still have a cough. Oh, there you go. So he's bringing in the old grand catchphrases here. And someone has to ask about Hail Bop. Roll that beautiful bean footage, sir. I didn't even look to see who else is streaming. Let's see. Let me look. Looks like Patrick's on, Cheetah. That's about all I see from the comic side of things. He's not really comics, but I mean, you know what I mean. That little crew. Jackson's right. It's been a while since I had a Friday night off. So good to be here and hang with my friends. Yeah, that's where we are. is how we hang with friends nowadays, digitally. I mean, it's for you. You live out there, so it's difficult. And I have no real friends up here, so it's not like, I mean, you know, I like James and all that, and I have some friends at church, but it's not like friends that go out and do anything. Not like my friends back home, so. Yeah, when is Jackson not interviewing somebody? I don't know. The guy's got the magic touch. I was like, how did you get to all these people? They won't even answer me. For every person I ever interviewed on my channel, I, you know, didn't hear anything back from like 10 or more. What is happening with Heaven's Gate? Those guys have been quit for a while. Yeah, I know, right? I doubt they're getting much of a population explosion. And considering what Hail Bop goes around, what, every 200 some odd years? So still like a short albedo, or not albedo, but short elliptical, whatever it is. Comet. Might be a while before they get started up again. Yeah, but Cheetah, he's an interviewing machine. I've lost most of my taste for it, but I would do it again if I'd love to get a hold of Jim Shooter. If anyone knows Jim, his direct line, let me know. I'll give him. I'll reach out to him. Tom DeFalco never got back to me. I can't believe it. I thought he might. I asked Bob Adiansky. I was like, hey man, put the good word in for me, would you? I'd love to interview those guys, some editor-in-chiefs, but If you're around next Friday, maybe we'll have to get you on the show there, Matt. I don't know if you use Discord or not. That's what I stream with, OBS. Well, technically OBS, and I bet we can go. Like when Jackson gets on, I go through Discord with him. And are you still doing the ollies hunting? Man, I couldn't believe, like, I should take a picture of it. My ollies, at least we have 2 ollies actually within 30 minutes of our house. And I can't believe, like, all the omnis and just all the comics packs they have there. Tons and tons and tons. It's like DC Paradise there. And they still had copies. I don't know, was Action Comics, what, 1000? Was that in, like, trade form? What was that? I thought that was more of a typical rag, but they had several copies of that there. And I was like, well, that's surprising. But it looked more like an Omni or a trade. I don't know. Jimmy never reached out to be on the show. I'll have to have a talk all the show. You let Big Jim know. I'm waiting. The public wants to know. If you send me a link, I'll figure it out. Okay, yeah, it should be pretty easy. Just have it downloaded. Some people here have had dinner with Roy. I know, right? I don't know who that jerk would be who actually got to dine with one of the greats. Did you ask him if he wanted to do an interview for your channel? I would have. Matt, my friend, and this is why you were one of the great wits among YouTube. I like to think that Roy Thomas was lucky enough to have dinner with Matt Woods. And he could be saying that one day. And I bet the conversation he probably thought the same. Now, you weren't starstruck at lunch, were you? You were cool, you were chill. You didn't sit there babbling and drooling on the table or, choking on your food. Sorry, I'm just waiting for answers. I don't want to shift gears on subjects right now. So we struck some rich pay dirt here, maybe. I'm gonna check something here. Give me one sec. Give me one second. One more second. I was looking for something here. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'd like to talk to some of the more controversial figures like Jim Shooter and John Byrne. I like to talk about those. Some of the couple of guys have some reputations, and you kind of wonder, is it professional jealousy? Is it artists who don't want to work hard, or is it completely justified? It's hard to tell in any kind of controlled environment like an interview, but it would be kind of fun. I was good, didn't fanboy it up too much. There you go. Now, were you bouncing questions off of him? There's the next question. Remember, who was that? It was, I think it was on The Simpsons, where they had a Star Trek panel, and they had a couple of guys just totally geeking out, right? Asking the actors questions that no one's gonna know the answer to. I wonder if you did anything like that to him, did you? I would have embarrassed myself and yelled out for dancing wenches and more mead. Loudly by banging your stein on the table too. It wouldn't have been the first time you embarrassed yourself, or wouldn't have been the first time you've called out for dancing wenches and more mead. Mead is weird, man. I was like, who was drinking beer one day and decided, you know what this needs? Honey. I don't know. I don't know. I don't drink anymore, but. Next time I go down to Florida, I'll probably have lunch with John Beatty at least. So not quite the same stratosphere, but to me, I geek out pretty well. But I already know the guy. I mean, I've hosted his streams and stuff before, so. Which I don't know if he's done one in a while. I need to go check on him, see how he's doing. I've been seeing him post a little bit on Instagram lately, but. Probably start winding the stream down then on those inauspicious notes. I don't know if Kristen is still with us, but appreciate you tuning in this evening. If for no other reason that I kept Matt from pacing around the house too much. And oh yeah, I was checking the CPA's thing about Ollie's. I met Joe Travato in Acronic Comics do most of the talking. Oh, I let Joe. Okay. Roy Thomas and Joe shared some letter when Joe was 13 years old back in the 1960s. Roy was remembering some fond times. Sorry, that heart thing's in the way again. It would be interesting, man. Like, I would... Well, I can't have dinner or lunch or anything with him. I mean, he's not here anymore, but... like, I would love to have been, like, sit down with Mark Grunwald, because he was probably my favorite writer back in the 80s, 90s, so I'd love to sit down with him and chat a little bit, but Roy's mother also wrote Joe, so I didn't do too much talking to Roy. Okay. I'd have bent his ear. I'm sitting here having lunch or dinner. I'm not going to get a chance to do this again. You can talk to him anytime. Here we go. Let me know all about it. I want to know about every. Who did your lettering? Do you like your letterers? Did you stand over them while they lettered? Yeah. But old Mr. Woods. What I would give Joe a piece of tinfoil to occupy his time and had Roy all to myself. You're full of sagacious wit tonight there, Mr. Jackson. You're a little ornery this evening, huh? You didn't swing through Bourbon Street on your way home from work, did you? Would have loved to have talked to Frank Frazetta and John Buscema, piling their brains on what inspired them to draw Conan like they did. Would have been great to hear their stories. Oh my goodness! And as everyone knows, like Big John is probably my favorite artist of all time. Him and Rick Levins, I love both those guys. So yeah, just talking to Big John and of course Frank. I mean, he's so legendary. He's more legendary for non-comic stuff, right, than he is for comics at all, right? Jackson is always a hoot. One of my favorite people. I know, right? And I've never even seen him, but he's one of my favorite people. You see, I have to see how little it takes to entertain me, but and how low I set my standards. But still, the point remains, even with my low criteria, picking that pilot. Oh, okay. Are you on your phone? Are you typing on a phone? Because I have the hardest time with that. I fat finger everything. Alexander Roshenko, what are you doing? What is that noise? Haha! There we go. I've been holding out for you, man. We were all wondering if you were going to come in this evening. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Glad you can make it. Hope you're doing well. And you'll have to watch this all in replay, so there's proof that we were asking. And look forward to the weekend, of course. You came in just in time to almost watch me close her out. But, yeah, so good times. Like, I don't know, like, if I had, like, 3 picks of people I could have a meal with, fat fingers don't work well on phone. Yeah, mine don't either. I don't have, like, phone-sized fingers that well. But, yeah, I don't know if anyone would be comic guys. I'm not sure. If they had to still be alive, too. I mean, I'm not going to do the whole historical. Who would you have lunch with, you know? But, like, current day, people who are still alive, who would I have lunch with? That's interesting. Lunch with or dinner. I'm so, like, away from entertainers and stuff. I don't know. Gina Presents dropping some serious wisdom right there. Well, you know, it just rolls off the tongue. Yeah, I don't know. No one in particular. I don't know. I can't think of anything on top of my head. On anyone on top of my head. But I would. You guys. I think I just soon have, lunch with you guys as anybody else. Why not, right? At least we all have a shared interest and commonality. We don't put each other on pedestals. Lee Majors. I can show my lunchbox. I'd probably geek out and show him my lunchbox. It's like, hi, Lee. Can you sign my lunchbox? And the thermos inside. Which it still sits proudly over in my cubicle over there. Or my cubby, should I say. That was an awesome present, man. Master's the king of disaster. How's work? How's church? How's the week? How are you? Dandy and everything. Work was great. We had a good session earlier this week. Church was good, though I miss Wednesday church. But week was good. Got some more clients lined up just today, actually. And we are booked out till December. And more is rolling in. And I am just fine. Thank you for asking. And hope the same goes for you. I'm actually more than fine. I'm great. I am very, very pleased with how life is unraveling in all of its facets. Most pleased to be here with some great folks tonight. By the way, that's you guys. I would love to have lunch or even coffee with a super famous YouTuber. His name is, wait for it, Jackson Roykirk. Yes, I agree. I would like to have lunch with him too. My fingers are slumber and quite nimble. They get slapped a lot though. Yeah, I don't have the piano player's digits, that's for sure. Very good. Just woke up for work tonight. But at least you have work to wake up for, right? This is good. This is very good. And hope your work goes well, whatever it may be this evening. The ladies like my fat body parts. They don't like slender, nimble. Yeah, it reminds me of children, right? Well, that won't be a problem with me. I've lost slender quite a few years ago. I don't think... There we go. We got some movie quotes we were missing earlier. So I don't think it's nice you laughing. You see, my mule don't like people laughing. I can't do it in Clint's voice very well. He gets this crazy idea you're laughing at him. Other fingers don't match the well. This is getting a little heated here. A little risque. A little bit of innuendo, perhaps, up in the house. But no Bill tonight. No Mark from One Year Guitar. A lot of regulars weren't in the shop tonight. Yes, I did. You were actually the inspiration for that because I've been neglecting that channel quite a bit because no one really looks at it usually. But yeah, I got 3 more vids up on Men Seeking Wisdom. I added, I think all the way up to Philippians, my reading. So that's a fun thing to go through because I am well over halfway through doing my New Testament videos. So I've read through all the way. I'm in 1 Timothy right now, and I'll probably be closing that up in the next few days. So yeah, I'm getting through the New Testament. I didn't think I'd get through it. It's been over a year of pretty regular recordings, but it goes. My wife today told me, she's like, so you gonna I guess after that, you got to do the Old Testament. It's like, oh man, you're killing me. I don't know. Maybe. I need to go back and watch the Two Mules live stream, both of them. Yeah, I haven't watched those. I've never rewatched any of those. I really should just put the movies on and rewatch and just see if we're as funny as I thought we were at the time. Did you like that TV show Relic Hunter? It had a lot of innuendos. I have not watched it. In fact, I haven't watched much of anything this last basically 2 weeks. Maybe in the following weeks, if I get some more time off, I might get to watch some stuff. You know, I'm catching up on all my Law and Order, so that might be a while. Sledgehammer, remember that show? That had a lot of innuendo in it. And in fact, that entire show was innuendo. That's what they should have called it. Sledgeuendo. Kind of like Son of the Beach, that show too was nothing but innuendo. That was a little less subtle, but Tia Carrera, good old Relic Hunter. Gee, what was that a knockoff of? Can't think of it. Grave Raider, perhaps. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, I remember I used to love Sledgehammer too. You know, I probably didn't get some of the humor, but I used to love watching that show. I was on the Fox affiliate, and I used to watch that back in like '87 or so. After read the Bible one book at a time and pause at least a week in between books. If I try to read straight through, it makes it up too much. It's quite easy to do. Well, if you want to listen to them in an easy manner, you start with Matthew. I started with Matthew and working my way all the way through it. So you can listen to it in a few minutes, snippets at a time. It's perfect. And then I always upload the full book reading. So some of those are quite long. Like most of the Four Disciples are like well over an hour. Some of them are like 2.5 hours total. Great, now I have a Pete Gabriel song in my head, along with an amazing stop-motion video, too. There you go. It never leaves. I just finished, actually, a month or two ago, I just finished my third read-through of the Bible. I'm working on my fourth thing out now. So I just start right every day. Every day I read 4 pages at night, so I just read it straight through. Not to mention when I read it for my readings and then any other time. So it's the book that keeps on giving. Something else we take for granted is like the ease of we have for even reading our books nowadays, you know? It wasn't until Gutenberg came around, it wasn't the easiest thing in the world to do to get a copy of a book. You know, they're all handwritten out. I know it made the Calligraphers Guild pretty pissed, but yeah, it's a lot easier for us now. Every time I read the Bible once every 5 to 6 years, it's like reading a new book every time. As I age, I understand it in a completely different light. Yeah, and it's you can start placing like parables and stories and histories, right, with experience and using it in your life. And that's when it works the best, right? Oh, I'm sorry, Grant. I think I missed you. I think it said if one goes to Mass for 3 years straight, they actually read the whole Bible. Then that could be. Like, I think the rule of thumb is if you read, I think it's 4 chapters on average a day, or maybe it's 6, that in like a little over a year you'll have read the entire Bible or something like that. I just read 4 pages, so however how much the chapters, I don't look at so much how long the chapters are. I just read it. You know, I'll start on a chapter and then just read 4 pages from there, and then all the way to the end of that chapter, the closest one to the 4th page. And sometimes more. If you get froggy in a weekend, read a whole book. You can read a book of the Bible in no time. Like, you know, if you're even a semi-decent reader, you can read, like, one of the Disciples' books in, I don't know, 2 hours. Not even 2 hours. So there you go. It's difficult read. Like, you don't read them as fast as you do a more modern book because the language is a lot different, and there's a lot to follow, you know. But it is. There's we have something that's called Baptist Bread. You can get them at I don't use it, but you get it at the church, and it basically it's your timeline. So it tells you exactly what you should read every day if you want to finish the Bible in a year. So they have you jump around from Old Testament to New Testament. I just prefer to read it straight through. But they say it's not really how you're supposed to read it. But I'm a patient kind of guy. I know what's going to happen, so I don't need to mix it up. And the books aren't in chronological order. Like the first book was Job, and you see how far back that is in the New Testament. So, but I don't miss a day. I haven't for years. Don't miss your prayers. Don't miss your Bible reads. And I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to. Old English, King James is like a completely different language. It's difficult, especially in the Old Testament. It's even harder. Like, some of that wordplay in there is difficult. But so just get yourself in habits. Make yourself have habits. Like, no, I am not going to go to bed until I've done this. I am not. And it's amazing what you can get done. I'm not going to say that some of the books aren't hard to get through. I just finished Leviticus again last night. And man, that's rough. I usually dread it when Leviticus and Numbers and sometimes even Deuteronomy comes up. Because you're going to be doing a lot of reading about measurements and candlesticks and genealogies. But if we weren't supposed to know it, wouldn't be there, right? So I have to. Man, those Englanders, I don't skip them. But it's rough sometimes. Those Englanders, what do they know about English? I know, right? Even ye old English. When you start to read the Bible again, choose the Douay Rheims Bible. That will give you chills. Really puts the fear of God in the lad. I'll tell you, a lot of people have a lot greater fear of the Lord if they actually took to heart what was written in there a lot, But it's a good thing we have the love, too, not just the wrath. Ancient spirits of evil transform this decayed form from Mumra, the ever-living. I can hear the theme music now. Thunder, 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 cats. Wow. Those people in England wait. Those people in England need how to speak American before coming to this country. I know, right? And they do. None, except for John Lennon, none of the English singers ever sound English when they're singing. Something behind it. It's all fake. They just do it when the cameras are on or tourists are around. They sound just like us. Yeah, more feel or bail. Well, we all fear our own things. But I do fear I'll have to be getting off the stream here shortly. Because I'm about to talk myself out. I can feel it. I can feel it coming. But it's been a pleasure this evening, as always. I have the best chat in the business. For those watching the greatest live stream, they would and thus have to be the greatest chat in the internet. So I'm very much appreciative of you guys and gals. And I should be streaming as far as I know next Friday. I should be in town. Listening, things come up, but I should be here same time next week, same bat channel. Everyone go out there and try to do something good for somebody this weekend. I don't know who it's going to be for. Genome presents USCM Artillery UA 571C Sentry gun units using 5.56 explosive tip caseless. This has been a good time. Thank you, Dave. Oh, you were quite welcome, sir. And but I should be thanking you for, just like PBS said, without you, our tote bags will be meaningless. But and yes, thank you, Matt Woods Comics, the OG in the stream tonight. It's the best Friday night stream out there. Whew. Okay, I was getting a little nervous there. Sometimes Simon puts a pretty good one on, but she hasn't stopped by in a while. I think he started a new job, though, so maybe he's busy. And you, Grand. Thank you, Jack says. He's like, when he does his streams, it's like afternoon for him. tomorrow. But yeah, I hope everyone has a Jim Dandy weekend tonight. A Jim Dandy Friday night and a Jim Dandy total weekend. Get out there and do something kind for somebody. Get out there and do something kind for yourself. Take care of yourselves out there and each other. Patent pending on that. But really, do something. What's on tap for this weekend for you? Tomorrow, probably not fun. I'll be at the in-laws tomorrow doing a cleanup party on their property. So I'd say on tap for me this weekend is a sore back. And be my guess. Maybe a little bit of exposure, like cold exposure. It's getting a little bit chilly over here. So, yeah, I'm sure building teardown and cleanup will be my guess tomorrow. And cleaning out, like, old said buildings. So, I don't know exactly what's going to be going on, but Matt has obviously a game to look forward to tomorrow. But, so that's what's going on in my weekend. And then, of course, church Sunday. So, yeah. But we're gonna smile and we're doing something nice for somebody, right? So, that should make me feel that's all the reward I need in my back. Matt Woods, have the cortisone ready. But yes, thank you for coming here at the last second there, Grant. It's good to see you. Glad you can make it, and I'm glad you're here. So when you checked in, I know all is well. So have a good work tonight, whatever it is you're doing this evening. Be safe out there. And we will catch everyone next week, same time, same bat channel. So until next time, this is Genome, out.